In this demonstration, I'll show you how to solve any rational equation by finding the lowest common denominator. This is part 2 of the series. The question asks, solve 2 over x minus 5 plus 3x over x plus 1 is equal to 4 for x. Method 1 involves combining everything you see on one side and then subsequently solving for x. Let me demonstrate what I mean. To combine these two terms together, you would have to first multiply the denominators out. And if you multiply the denominators out, you end up with this, x minus 5, x plus 1. Next, what you have to do is take your denominator and then multiply it by the opposite numerator, and take this denominator and multiply it by the opposite numerator. So if we multiply 2 times x plus 1, we end up with 2x plus 2. Notice how I've expanded. Plus, and this plus is coming from here, 3x times x minus 5 gives us 3x squared minus 15x, and on the right side is equal to 4. Now remember, we do have at the bottom x minus 5, x plus 1. The next step is to get rid of this denominator, and we do that by multiplying both the left and the right side by this denominator. And if we do that, take a look, I'll represent it in purple, x minus 5, x plus 1, and on the left side, the same thing, x plus 1. And what happens is that this cancels out with this, leaving you with the following expression. 2x plus 2 plus 3x squared minus 15x is equal to, and I'm going to expand the right side here. If I do that, I end up with 4x minus 20. Put this in brackets. We haven't multiplied it to this yet. And this further expands to minus 20x minus 20. And the left side stays the way it is. Now what you have to do is combine all like terms. This is the same as this. They belong to the same family. These belong to the same family. And lastly, this term and this term belong to the same family. This gives you the following expression. If you were to combine everything and make it equal to 0, you end up with this. Now, since it is a quadratic equation, you're going to need to use the quadratic formula to find out your x's. And if you use the quadratic formula, and I do have a video dedicated on quadratic formula, you end up with two x's. x1 is equal to 3 plus 97 square rooted over 2, or the next x is 3 minus 97 over 2. And of course, you can confirm this on your own using a graphing calculator or a quadratic solver online. Method 2 is very similar to method 1. Method 2 is multiply the left and the right side by the content found in the denominator. The content found in the denominator here is x minus 5 and x plus 1. So you'd have to multiply this whole equation by those two denominators. Let me show you what I mean. X minus 5, x plus 1 is equal to 4 times this exact same expression, because what you do to the left, you must do to the right. Now, if I multiply this term with this and this, what happens is this x minus 5 cancels out with this, and x minus 5 combines with 3x. So you end up with an x minus 5 up here. And similarly, if I multiply this by both of these terms to its right, this 2 ends up having an x plus 1 beside it. And this x plus 1, I know it's hard to see now given all these lines, will cancel out with this. So you're left with 2 bracket x plus 1 plus 3x bracket x minus 5, and the right side remains the way it is. Now recall, this looks identical to the step that was written here. Let's try question number 2. In question number 2, they're asking us to solve 5x over x plus 2 is equal to 7 for x. Of course, this question is a little bit easier than the previous one, but the same methods apply. What we're going to do is multiply the left and the right side by x plus 1. If we end up doing that, we end up with, now this is just the equation as it was written. if we multiply x plus 2 on both sides, you end up with this canceling with that. 5x on the left side, 7x plus 14 on the right side. All you have to do now is isolate for x. No need for the quadratic formula. This is not a quadratic equation. You bring this term over, you get negative 2x is equal to 14. Therefore, x is equal to positive 7. And there you have it. That is how to solve a complicated equation containing quotients. If you found this tutorial helpful, please support our channel by subscribing or by liking this video. If you have any further questions, you may visit our website at studyforce.com. We are an online service for students seeking free homework help. See you soon.